Good afternoon, YouTube. I'm going to demonstrate an important maintenance item that I really recommend you do once a year. The electrical load center in your RV, when you drive around, the terminals and whatnot can loosen up and cause arcing. So it's something that I found really the first year I've worked on mine, and I find it's good practice just to check. So we'll walk you through the process. All right, so before you get started, the first thing that you really need to do is make sure your RV is unplugged from any shore power. You can see I have a 50 amp plug here in my garage, 30 amp RV. I just wired it 50 amps just in case I ever upgrade and I don't have to turn around and redo it. So first thing first, let's pull it out and get started. Okay, I'm here at the doorway, entry door of my RV, and the other thing that I strongly recommend to do, just because the potential for power to be created by your inverter, even if it's turned off, is to disconnect your batteries. You see here on the left is my use store battery switch, so I'm going to turn it off and you'll see everything go dark. Okay, so we're set up here inside the RV next to the electrical load center. On my particular model, it's down here near the floor, about toward the back of the RV. So to get access to these, you just push it. At least on mine, this WIFCO model. You push it down, you'll see I already have an upgrade in here. I've got this this Charge Wizard. So this Charge Wizard is an upgrade for a converter that I changed. I found that the factory WIFCO converter was not properly maintaining my batteries. It was staying in bulk mode to some degree, which means it was keeping about 13.5, 13.6 volts at all given times, and it never would trip down into float mode, where it's supposed to keep it down right around 13.1 volts. If that situation kept up for a really long period of time, it would have eventually fried my batteries, boiled out the liquid, and I think that's one of the big causes. If you look around on the internet and people talk about burned up batteries, or batteries that only last a year or two before they have to switch it out, I really think the converter is the big cause. So I upgraded to a Progressive Dynamics 4655 converter a couple years ago. It's a true 4-stage converter that allows charging in either one of 4 phases. It's got a boost mode, which is the mode that rapidly charges your battery if it's near dead. It has a normal charging mode. Then it has a float mode, which basically keeps the batteries topped off, kind of like a one of those battery tenders would have. Then it has a battery cleaning mode where it gives it a temporary boost of power to blow the sulfates off of your battery plates to keep them in prime tip-top shape. My batteries are running right around 3 years old. They're still within a reasonable, acceptable life expectancy based on the specific gravity of the cells, which I talked about in a different video. So it's a nice upgrade that I like, and the nice thing with this little box is that it lets you manually put it in any of the given modes. So if you feel that it's not tripping over into the float mode for whatever reason, you can force it there. So to get started, there's 2 screws. I've already killed the power, as I previously mentioned. So these 2 Phillips screws. So you just run them out, and then the whole cover will just pull back. Okay, and then what you'll see is here's your converter down here at the bottom. That's what turns your 120 volts coming in from shore power into 12 volts to power your 12 volt systems when you're plugged into shore power, and also to maintain and charge your batteries. Here you'll see your breakers. So these are typical house type breakers like you would have in your home fuse box. And then over here on the right is your 12 volt DC fuse box. So these are the fuses that feed your different DC circuits within the RV. So the big thing that I have found is that a lot of these screws where grounds contact, where your powers contact into your fuses, and these terminals for where your 12 volt wires, when you're driving down the road and shake, rattle, and roll, vibrations, whatnot, these things will loosen up a little bit. And problem is when these loosen, it will create an additional resistance at that junction, and with increased resistance you have increased heat. I saw this video or this picture on a recent Facebook post. I'll superimpose it on this video. But basically, some of these areas had almost caught on fire. I mean, it was charred, causing significant amount of damage. So it's just good practice to once a year pop this loose and just tighten up all your connectors. So just using a standard flathead screwdriver, I'm just going to go through each of these screws and give them a strong push. A strong turn, I mean, clockwise. And that one was moved a little bit. That one moved a little bit. So those cover the ground connections. Up here, your neutral lines, your white lines. It's the same thing. Oop, that one moved quite a bit. This is where power returns back. Yep, another loose one. And then down the sides of your fuse box for your breakers. And lastly, just run down a little bit. Yep, that one was a little bit loose. And then your 12 volt ones. That one's quite a bit loose. Well, I got a half a turn on that one. Yeah, so these guys have loosened up quite a bit. I'm getting almost a half a turn on these. That one almost had a one turn. Another turn. Okay, so I have gone through and checked all of them. So here you just want to your box back, and if you don't have one of these charge wizards, you don't have to worry about that wires running here. You just won't have that. And then just close up your door. I just keep this guy here on the tucked up by these 12 volts because they'll show up through this window here, so I can take a look at it at any given time. And that's it. So that's how you open up your electrical load center and check the tightness of your wires and in all your terminals to make sure you've got good contact. Really simple. Only took me about, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes real time. Definitely something I recommend you do, like I said, once a year as a typical maintenance item. So if you want to check out some of the stuff I've written up on maintenance or whatnot, just check out my site at www.rvtricks.com. Thank you for watching.